Hello, and welcome to the Business with Beers podcast. This is the first episode in a new weekly series called Franchise Fridays. Every Friday, I'm going to have an episode dedicated to the world of franchising. For those who don't know, my family has been in the franchise business for over 45 years, and I've personally been in this business for over a decade. My brother and I took our family franchise auto repair business and grew it from 6 locations to now 30. A lot of people think that buying a franchise means buying yourself a job, but the truth is you can make a franchise business as big or as small as you want. For some people, they are perfectly happy having a franchise be, supplemental to their W-2 or to replace their job or to build, a pretty big business. Or in my case, we've scaled our business to employ over 200 people, and now it generates $36 million a year in sales. So it can be as big as you want it to be. And while I have had a lot of success, I've also made a lot of mistakes over the last 10 to 12 years. We bought into other franchise concepts that ended up losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, which created a tremendous amount of stress in my personal life. And I'm going to do my best to teach you everything that I've learned so that you don't make the same mistakes. And one of the best ways that you can accelerate your growth as a franchisee is to surround yourself with other successful entrepreneurs who are just a couple steps ahead of you or kind of right where you're at. And for those of you with W-2 jobs and they're looking to buy a franchise, you need a confidential community to ask questions, look at different concepts and get support. It's not like you can post anything on LinkedIn or Twitter without raising some red flags with your current boss. So to help, I'm launching a free private community to help people get started on their journey to build wealth through franchising. So if you're interested in joining, go to brianbeers.com/community to learn more about this, brianbeers.com/community. Most of these franchise episodes are going to be 10 to 15 minute deep dives into a single concept. I will also be placing my interviews with franchisees and franchisors in this series. So some of the things I'm going to talk about is how to select a brand. There's over 4,000 different franchises out there. And so it's a lot of work, and it's super important to narrow that down to just a handful that meet your criteria, whether it's, you want a certain amount of time commitment, being semi-absentee versus, hey, you're all in. There's a certain amount of people like you want to work with, whether it's low skill or like high skill. Do you want to work in a business that has recurring revenue, or is it sales-based? Is it retail? Is it service? There's anything you want. There's probably a brand out there that can fit your needs. And so I'm going to talk about the process I would use to go about kind of narrowing all that list down. I'm going to talk about legacy versus emerging brands and the pros and cons of each one of them. We're talking about how to find a franchise to buy, right? There's tons of different ways out there, and I'm going to talk about some of the best. Then we're going to talk about, once you're in the franchise, how do you go about rolling them up? So you start with 1, 2, 3. How do you get to 4, 5, 6, 7? How do you get to 30? How do you get to 100? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how do you use owner financing within a franchise. So instead of going to a bank, the seller loans you the money to buy his own business. It's an amazing thing that I've had tremendous success with. We're going to do multiple episodes on what's called the FDD, or the franchise disclosure document, which is a 200 to 500 page legal document that can in part be a snooze fest, but it also has some very important information in there that you have to know. So we're going to go through all that. And I'm going to do some franchise business breakdowns. So I'm going to take a franchise concept and do an honest review based on that FDD, based on franchisees that I know. We're going to talk about how much money they make, what the unit growth is, what the business model is, and overall kind of my thoughts on it. And so if there's any specific topic or brand you'd like me to dive into, shoot me a message. LinkedIn or Twitter would be where you find me. My links are going to be in the show notes, but it's just at Brian Beers. I'm pretty easy to find. And I'll do my best to address the questions and the answers here on the podcast or one-on-one, whatever makes more sense. So today I want to talk about franchising 101. What is franchising? So it's critical to understand, right? There's really 2 parties involved. You've got the franchisor, who we can think of as the visionary, right? They are the ones who've had this vision for this concept, whether it's a mold remediation company or a doggy poop pickup company, or like a carpet cleaning company, or a sandwich company, or a home insulation company, or you name it. Someone's had a vision of a brand with a specific problem that they were going to solve and something that makes them unique, right? Because if there's nothing unique about it, the franchise concept doesn't have much value to you. Like if you could go out there and just start a competing business within a few weeks, like, why do you need the franchisor? Why do you need to pay an upfront fee? Why do you need to pay royalties, right? If it's a low barrier entry and there's no secret sauce, then it's not the best thing to buy. And so you really want to know, like, what is the concept? What is the secret sauce? And that's their job, is to create it, find the opportunity, solve the problem, and make it special. And you, as the franchisee, you're the operator, right? So you're the one who can get the playbook from the franchisor and you can go and execute. They're going to say, if you want to make a lot of money, you're going to do X, you're going to do Y, you're going to do Z, and here's the playbook, this, and this. And you're going to go out there and follow their instructions and follow their game plans, because they're the ones that laid the foundation. And as the franchisee, it's our job to then go and execute it. And so to break it down a little further, I want to look at one of the most iconic franchise brands in the world, which is McDonald's. So as the franchisor, their responsibilities are to employ chefs in test kitchens to create new products that are going to taste great, that can be, made with profitably and quickly with their existing equipment, and meet all these criteria. They have a whole team of chefs that do that, right? They have a marketing team who creates the ad, they create the brand, they test different price points to see, where customers see the most value from. And they're going to make those recommendations to you. They are going to work to source and negotiate contracts with suppliers. So they're going to work with food suppliers and farms and the different suppliers for paper products and, cleaning supplies and drinks and all that stuff. They're going to have a real estate department who's going to help scout new locations. They're going to have work with third-party civil engineers to help make sure you get all the permits and all this stuff. And then they're going to have a construction team that's going to go out and actually build the building. And then they're going to have other engineers who are going to be in-house to develop the most efficient processes, whether that is, how do we get the most amount of people through our drive-through at a time? How do we cook the food in the most efficient manner that is timely, delivers on consistent quality, and is profitable, right? So they're the ones who are going to invest into the robots that create all this, that flip burgers and create French fries and pizzas or whatever else, because their job is kind of on that development and the engineering and all the creative stuff. That is their responsibility to then provide for their franchisees. As a franchisee, your role is to take the playbook that McDonald's has written and execute on it. So you're going to do that, but you're going to hiring good people who fit your culture, who want to be part of the team. You're going to then spend a lot of time training those people to follow the process that McDonald's has laid out. You are going to make sure that you are delivering excellent customer service, that your places are clean, and that you're met to the food FDA standards, right? And you're going to create this culture that minimizes turnover. And you're going to want to create a culture that people can rise within it, that you can hire somebody as a cashier and then they move their way up to, a cook, and then an assistant manager, and then a manager. And then you never know, maybe you own multiple locations, and then your best people now rise to be your general manager. And that creates a tremendous amount of loyalty when people see that, they can start at any position in your company, and that, everybody wants to grow. And rather than having to leave and find a new job, that if they're a shining star, that they can grow within your organization. That's how you develop an awesome culture with low turnover and people that want to be there and they want to win and they want to add value. And the more success you have and the bigger your world gets, the more opportunities that you will create for the people who live in your world. And so that leads to the classic question of, if franchisors have written this playbook and they know what to do, why not just do it all themselves, right? Why not keep all the money and not have to, only get a tiny percentage of it? Well, it comes down to a couple things. Number one is that local ownership of a business is 100% more effective than corporate ownership. And a local owner just cares more. They're going to hire better people. They're going to train better people. It's their money on the line. It's their reputation. And they're just going to do a better job at most places than corporate ownership. Now, there's other cases that, it makes sense for a corporate, right? Your Walmart, your Target, your big retailer that has lots of buying power, lots of payroll, to invest in building these big teams, they do all right. But for a lot of these smaller, businesses, they need local ownership. And it allows them the franchisor to scale very quickly because they're shifting the workload and capital investments to the franchisees. So you want to build out 100 locations, right, at $300,000 a pop. You need to raise a couple, multiple millions of dollars. Instead, you shift that capital investment of $300,000 per location to a franchisee who then uses their own money, raises money, goes to the SBA, whatever they do. And that allows the franchisor then to focus on, training and support and, the real estate side of it and things that aren't capital intensive. Right? It's kind of the shift of risk in a sense where the franchisor is shifting the risk to you as the franchisee. But then for them, they have the risk of, they need to develop this concept. They need to hire great trainers. They need to do excellent due diligence on their franchisees to make sure they have partnered with the right people. Because from the franchisor's perspective, if they sell a franchise to somebody who's the wrong person and runs the thing into the ground, and creates just, extra work and creates bad reputation. And maybe it leads to a lawsuit where the franchisee is suing the franchisor because it didn't perform the way they thought it would. And then they have to report all of this stuff in their FDD that every future franchisee gets to read through. And so like for the franchisors, it's like a critical step. And it's, you don't buy, in a sense you buy a franchise, but the real truth of it is you get awarded the franchise, like you earn it, and that they have to want to do business with you just as much as you want to do business with them. And that's why I come back to saying it's a partnership. It's really a partnership between two parties who have distinct responsibilities. The visionary, create the ideas, know what the new concepts are, look at, a couple steps ahead and develop the playbooks. And then the franchisees, who are the operators, who go out and then execute the playbook. They can stay down and in, focus on profitability, focus on driving sales, and the franchisor can have their heads up and around the corner, see what the macro trends are, and make sure that everybody in the system is prepared for it. So that's part of the responsibilities and the different parties. And then for the franchisee, what do you get? Well, you get a business in a box. So you have no need to go and invent a new product. You don't have to go find a new problem to solve. You don't have to create a new concept or create a brand. Like if you like doing all that stuff, you like creating new products, you like inventing, you like going out and finding a problem and coming up with a solution, tinkering with it, and like all this stuff, then buying a franchise is probably not a good fit for you. But if you're like me, like just show me how to make money, just tell me what to do. And I'm pretty good at following instructions. I'm pretty good at hiring the team and motivating them. And like, maybe I'll take your playbook and maybe I might find a couple tweaks that I can do that I can make it a little bit better. And then I can share it back to you and you can share it with all the other franchisees, right? Like if that's you, then the business in a box model is an awesome fit because they're going to give you the process guides. They're going to tell you, this is what you need to do. This is how you sell it. This is how you price it. This is how you overcome the objections. This is how you bill it. This is how you do accounts payable. This is how you build a team, right? Like all the things you're going to need to know. There's going to be someone on your side in this box to help you with it. And this allows you to focus 95% of your time on hiring great people, firing when they're the wrong people, driving sales, training process, creating the culture, and driving profitability. So like if you like building great teams, selling stuff and making money, like franchise ownership is probably a great fit for you. And you can let the franchisor, in most cases, they're going to handle the website, the marketing, the branding, the lead generation, doing search engine optimization, getting media buys to be on TV and Hulu and all this crap. Like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I mean, I care about it, but I don't want to spend my time on that because this is not my skill set. Like, I want to leverage and invest my time where I shine, and where I shine is in sales process, hiring great people, creating culture, driving profitability. And so I can invest 95% of my time into that. And I will be happy to pay 5% of my sales, which is what it is, to go to the ad fund to let someone else handle all that stuff. Give me the leads and then let me work on the process to maximize the leads. That's why I love it. And so owning a franchise may not sound cool, and that it may not impress your friends, your neighbors compared to, oh, I got this new startup, or I got this software company, or I'm like building this fund, or whatever it is. But franchise ownership has the ability to change your life. It has changed my dad's life and my uncle's life and my life, my brother's life. And it can change yours too, because buying a franchise puts you in the fast lane. It allows you to grow quickly because you've got this business in a box. You've got this network. You've got this support. And we're going to talk a lot on this podcast series about the fast lane and how buying a franchise will accelerate your growth, or has the ability to accelerate your growth if you choose to. And so if you want to join me in the fast lane, you can start by taking the first step today, which is to join my free franchise community. You go to brianbeers.com/community to learn more. Again, brianbeers.com/community. So I hope to see a lot of people there. And until next time, cheers.